Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video, we are talking P-Valley. This is season 2, episode 9, titled Snow. Before we get into anything, don't forget to click that thumbs up button. Don't forget to share, comment on the video. Once you click that subscribe button, you know you will get all of the bell notifications for the uploads of all of my new videos. I appreciate you guys subscribing, and don't forget, when you subscribe, drop your name and your location in the comments so I can get to know you better, because I appreciate your support and I want to get to know who is supporting your girl. All right, I know I'm late with P-Valley, y'all. Had a lot to do Sunday night. I had some other things going on. Had to do my hair. Okay, one of the things. Some other business things I'm working on I had going on. So anyway, enough of the excuses. We're going to get P-Valley done. I'm going to try to get Married to Medicine done tonight if possible. No promises on that one. I might be a little more late on that one as well. Anyway, let's get into P-Valley. P-Valley had a lot going on this week as usual, but we definitely were moving the story along quite a bit this week. An episode left us with a cliffhanger. It said to be continued. So the episode opens up with that ratchet campaign commercial for Andre. I guess that's what Autumn called the strippers for. She got Brazil and them all together, and they had all they was campaigning for Andre in the commercial, playing the Mississippi Pride song, and he's sitting there, and the strippers all dancing around him and saying, you know, how he's for the people and all this stuff. I was like, what in the world is this commercial about to do? So anyway, then they show like a kind of like a rally or parade or whatever, and Andre's there, and the media, the news reporter speaking with him, saying, you know, how's it feel to be, you know, getting ahead in the polls? You're making history. You're going to make history as the second black mayor of Chucalissa. And, you know, she's just like congratulating him and talking to him about it. So then he's standing there with Corbin and Autumn. And so, which I found odd, because I thought Corbin didn't like Autumn because he wanted her to sell the pink. So that was weird that they're kind of both working with Andre at the same time, but maybe, I don't know. That whole like selling the pink and the casino and the referendum and all that stuff is kind of weird to piece together. If you guys could drop it in the comments and make it make sense, because to me it doesn't always make sense that if who doesn't matter if it wins? Like, if Andre wins, will Autumn still sell the pink? If he loses, will Autumn still sell the pink? Like, I don't get all of that part yet. But anyway, if you guys have a better understanding of it, please drop it in the comments, like I said. So anyway, then we see a big old truck pull up, and it's Pastor Woodbine. And she have on like a blue one piece with stars. She's looking all political, and she's twerking on the pole. She doing all these moves. One of the girls in the audience is like, oh, Mercedes get it from her mama. So Pastor Woodbine, she's doing all these moves on the pole, and she's giving a speech saying, you know, they try to bribe her to get her to drop out the race she's throwing out Bible verses and quotes, and then she starts shooting the money in the air, and somebody was like, not today, devil. So they was like not trying to be getting to her, but they was like, you know, it's just weird. And so it was like, okay, girl. Like, so Pastor Woodbine, I guess, is still in the race. She didn't want to really take the bribe like that. So anyway, then we see Granny Ernestine. She's still living, y'all. She in the hospital, but she fighting for her life. So y'all still better keep her on the prayer line, right? So the nurse is trying to give her water. The nurse got on all the protective gear, because y'all know what time it was. And she's trying to give Miss Ernestine some water. Ernestine is seeing her daughter, offering her the water as the nurse. And so she's fighting with the nurse, and other professionals come in, and she's fighting them. And she's like, no, get away from me. It's not my time yet. So she's literally fighting for her life. Back over at Uncle Clifford's house, he bent over on the breakfast table getting it done to him by a little murder. So they getting it on and having a good time. And then the phone rings, so Clifford answered it, because, you know, she's waiting for the hospital to call about grandmother's condition. So she's like, hello, hello, is this about my grandmother? But it was somebody talking about skunk spray. So he's like, oh, they always trying to sell you something. So anyway, she's like, oh Lord, I should not be in here, this kitchen having sex, and my grandmother is in the hospital fighting for her life. Lil Mer said, she would want you to have some sausage for breakfast. So they sit down to eat. I guess Lil Murder made breakfast, y'all. Uncle Clifford asked, how do you make your grits? He said, butter and sugar. Okay. So then she was like, okay, good, because if you said cheese, you're going to get kicked out the house. Lil Murder's like, oh, I would overstay my welcome, huh? And so then they basically having a conversation about, Lil Murder going to go on tour with Tina Snow and Clifford. And then he's like, I don't know, like, it's hard. Clifford asked him how it feel to be famous. He says it's hard because people think they know you and they don't really know you like that. And Clifford is encouraging him to go on a tour and saying how big Tina Snow's song is, aka Megan Thee Stallion. So anyway, then when Lil Murder's like, oh, I don't know if I should go because I don't want to leave you here. And so then Clifford's like, don't worry about me. Like, I'm a big girl. Like, I knew this wasn't going to last forever. I knew we wasn't going to play house forever. Clifford is saying he wish he could be in the hospital with Granny. He wants to be able to hold her hand. She can't do nothing. Lil Murder's like, she going to be all right. Like, the Rona not going to take her out. And so Clifford said, if you do, I want you to rap at the funeral. Lil Murder's like, you crazy girl. So then anyway, Lil Murder did a little twerk for him, talking about the reopening of the paint. And so then he went back in the room. So anyway, there was a part where Clifford asked, do you know what it's like not to be with somebody as they're dying? And Lil Murder was just kind of staring off space. I think he was thinking about Tika that moment because he was with Tika as he died. But let me know what y'all think. That's what my opinion was. So anyway, then back over at the paint, we see Keyshawn there with Autumn. Autumn's in that little back room where she was staying. Keyshawn's like, are you living here? She's like, yeah, girl, the best way to stay rich is not to pay rent. So anyway, Keyshawn was letting Autumn know her plans for her escape. Derek finally got a job, y'all. And so she gonna be working nights. Her kids, I think, are at her sister's house. So I'm like, why they couldn't be staying with the sister? Like, I don't get it. Anyway, I wonder is it one of them light-skinned stepsisters? I'm curious. So, and she said as soon as she leave there, she gonna pick him up. But her leg was bouncing, so Autumn noticed that Keyshawn was, kind of scared or nervous or something. So she told her, like, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna take your money, you're gonna get away from her, you're gonna fly and get those babies into safety, you're gonna be fine. And then Keyshawn asked Autumn, how did you know that Chuckalisa was gonna be home for you? And then she was like, it's not gonna be home. Like, after tomorrow, after the election, she's like, either I'll be one rich bitch or one dumb bitch. So anyway, then we see Autumn go into the room where the girls get dressed to see what kind of outfits Nineveh had ready for them. But she was like, these is looking like old, early 2000s stripper clothes. Like, girl, no. She gave her a water money, told her to go down the Rainbow. You got an hour, girl, to go down the Rainbow, get some better outfits. So Nineveh was like, bet. So anyway, then we see Keyshawn go back in the kitchen or somewhere to, I guess, fill up her water bottle. But Diamond was back there, so then she was like, oh, sorry, no, you're going to be back here. He's like, ditto. So then he's like, let me fill that water bottle up for you. I was like, oh, yes, Diamond, his fine self. So anyway, he filled up her water bottle, which was like an olive branch, right? And so then she was like, thank you. And then they kind of just like having this weird moment. And then here come Big Bone in the window talking about, is those wings ready yet? Because she might be thirsty, but I'm hungry. I was like, Big Bone gone somewhere, but that is her man, so whatever. So anyway, I thought I was rooting for them, but then Keyshawn's back. So I'm rooting for Keyshawn. But Keyshawn got to go because she got to rescue them kids, so it's just too much, right? So then we see Keyshawn and Big Bone passing through the hallways. And y'all know I might go out of order because P Riley be having a lot going on, but I'm just going to try to hit all the scenes and the points as best I can. So rock with your girl. So anyway, Big Bone is steady staring at all these pictures she done took of her and Diamond in the bed together. She's like, and so then I guess she was paying attention because she was looking at her phone too hard. So then her and Keyshawn end up bumping into each other, and then she's like, excuse me. And then she's like, you need to watch where you're going. And then Keyshawn's like, we haven't properly been introduced. And then Big Mom's like, oh no, we don't need to be properly nothing. Like, I know exactly who you are. Like, these walls be talking, they be whispering. And so then Keyshawn was like, the funny thing about whispers is they don't always tell the truth. And then Big Bone was like, oh, they not just whispering, they talking. And they got good ears and a big mouth, too. So basically, because Big Bone was like, and you leaving tomorrow. So Big Bone basically let her know, like, I already know your plan. I know what your game is. I know you leaving tomorrow. Like, don't cross her because she got the info on her. Which I'm like, dang, I hope Big Bone don't ruin Keyshawn's opportunity to escape and the plan. Like, Big Bone, Keyshawn will leave and you can have time to yourself. We need Keyshawn out of here, okay? If Keyshawn escapes, I'm still wondering, will we see her next season? So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Will Keyshawn be back for season 3? Or after season 2, is it up? Or will they bring in new characters? I'm curious to know. Like they brought in Roulette and Whisper. So anyway, so then we see the girls at the pink. They're practicing, right? Clifford's in that bright yellowish green outfit, which I kind of liked on her. So anyway, Mercedes and Roulette and Whisper and Keyshawn are all practicing their routine. They playing not the Whisper song. That Work Girl, Let Me See Your Body Sweat song. I don't want to say the actual words on here. But anyway, so they was getting it, And so then Mercedes begins to climb the pole. Keyshawn did like a splits down there. Then after Keyshawn got up there to a certain point, Mercedes got up there to a certain point. Keyshawn climbed up and then they were trying to like do these acrobatic things. And then you could see Mercedes' shoulder start playing with her. So then she looked like at first they was doing good, and Uncle Clifford was like, see, Autumn, see. But then, the shoulder was falling apart for Mercedes. So then Keyshawn had got down the pole, but she didn't want her to fall on her. And so Mercedes is just still struggling with that shoulder. And so then Roulette was like, see, your mistake is you didn't get back on the pole as soon as that happened. Like, that's your problem. That's your fault. You should have hurried up and got right back to it. And so she said some slick stuff to Mercedes, and so they got into it. And so then Mercedes like, you be lucky to be on the pole with me. And she said, I want to be on your gray hair pole. And so then they were about to fight. And so then Uncle Cliff was like, Big L. But Big L ain't doing that. He just sitting there. So anyway, Autumn's like, you know what? For safety, maybe Mercedes, you can base for Keyshawn instead. And Mercedes like, I ain't basing for nobody. And so Roulette was like, all I know is like, you better not mess up my pot. Like the club, we making this much money tonight. Like Roulette say how much money you can make. Like don't mess up her part. So anyway, Autumn was like, actually the floor, like Keyshawn, like basically Keyshawn is getting everything from the floor. And y'all splitting stuff on the door. Something like that. Basically Keyshawn getting the biggest pot because, Autumn trying to set Keyshawn up to escape. So then Mercedes is like, she's like the only biggest hitter to pack out this club at 50% capacity. And Mercedes like, oh, let me guess who the hitter is, Keyshawn. And so then, Keyshawn is feeling comfortable. So she's like, Autumn, maybe we can split the pot, like redo it, split the pot 4 ways. And so then Autumn's like, no, you need this. And so then it's just like really awkward and uncomfortable. And then Mercedes like, too bad she missed. And then they pan the diamond. I'm just like, ooh, child. So then Mercedes is like, if y'all gonna, reopen the club, you could do it without me. She stormed off, tear up the poster. She was about to fight Autumn. She was like, you the reason I got the 7 pounds of my pressure, pulled the trigger. So then she stormed out with the poster, like I said. So then Uncle Clifford went out there after her. Uncle Clifford was like, rule number 400,000, whatever, heifer. She's like, F your rules, Uncle Clifford. She was like, I can't do it like I used to. And she threw her bag down. I should have been out this place a long time ago. So, Mercedes, she's getting a little too old for the pain, I guess. She was like 30. What's the max age on stripping, though? That's what I want to know. I think you could do it as long as you could do it, though, right? I don't know. So anyway, Clifford, he lit a blunt or something for her to smoke to calm her nerves. I don't know if it was a cigarette, black and mild, a blunt, whatever it was. So, then he was like, ever since I was a little girl, I always dreamed of having a big old castle. I would throw away the key up and lock myself up in. And this place has been there for me, but sometimes your castles fall apart, especially if they're made out of sand. And sometimes you just gotta dream new dreams. Mercedes is like, sound like you saying that to yourself. And so, Clifford, he pretty much just went back in, like, let Mercedes cool off. And so then Farrah texts Mercedes. And she's like, I want to see you come to Memphis. And then Mercedes like, dang. So then she gone to Memphis, and it's this big old art exhibit. And it has all her pictures on the wall that Farrah had took at the condo. And they're beautiful, beautiful photographs. Like, the way she made those pictures of Mercedes look so artistic was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Like, I wonder who, like, in real life did those pictures. So anyway, now my issue with P-Valley. I need y'all to listen to me right now. Why did y'all have Farrah in this 2001 church lady wig? Like, the outfit was cute, but then the wig just ruined it. Like, the wig ruined it. That wig looked like... that wig looked like somebody, auntie, grandma, trying to be sassy at the church pastor's anniversary. Like, no. It was giving 2001 at best. Like, it aged her. It just was not right. It didn't even look like her. I was like, is that the same Farrah? Because why did they have that wig on her? That wig was horrible. So anyway, that's just my opinion, though. So then she's like, Mercedes like, wow, I look like air. Look, I'm floating in the air. Like, how did you do that? This is like the dream you was talking about. And she's like, yeah. And then she's like, I didn't really want to come to Memphis. She's like, you didn't want to take the hour drive. And then she's like, no, I didn't know if I wanted to see you. And then Farrah apologizes how that last time they saw each other ended up. And she was like, she didn't want things to end like that. But she also was grateful. She's going to divorce Cedric. And so Mercedes was like, leave all that money. She was like, oh, happiness is more important. She was like, said the rich bitch. And so then she was like, saying like, you're flying. They're talking about the picture basically. And Mercedes is saying like, yeah, like I didn't think I'd get back up on a pole again. I had to transfer my weight to my left side because I hurt my right shoulder. And so then she's like, well, if that's your weak side, I want to get in a fight with you. And then she asked Mercedes, would she F her again? And Mercedes was like, no, that was all business, but a little bit of pleasure. So Farrah, she gave up on it and told her to enjoy the exhibit. So Mercedes liked seeing herself up there. I wonder what Mercedes get paid for that. So anyway, then let's see, back at the Pank. I think we're ready for the reopening now, y'all. So Clifford out there, I love that pony. Like, Uncle Clifford's hair was doing so much. I loved it. I love that long ponytail and that thing wrapped around it. I don't know what the other parts was doing. I like the braids hanging. That was cute too. Her outfit was cute as well. So then all the CFC gang guys that wear the blue and yellow, chief, whatever they call them, guys are outside. They were rolling deep because they want to get back at Little Murder over Pico's drama. So they all in the line. Even the girl who's the baby mama, she there, big old pregnant. And they all wearing their blue and yellow. I'm like, really? So anyway, the health inspector, Lady Hawkins, is out there too. She was like, oh, like, you're not able to let all these people in. Like, it's only 50% capacity. And so then Clifford was like, yeah, some of y'all gonna have to wait until the people come out or get kicked out. So they're like, nah, they booing. So then Clifford is like, hey, like, I'll let you in for free. Don't you want to blow that stimmy? I'll even throw in Big L if you let me go to that 75% capacity. So she lets her, but she's like, everybody better wear their mask. And she's like, ooh, Big L. Like, she likes him. He's like, what am I, a hoe now? And so then Diamond, he's working security. He's not playing about that job. And so he tells the gang guys, like, y'all rolling deep tonight. We ain't having no trouble up in here. So anyway, back inside the club, Uncle Clifford goes into the dressing room and he's like, y'all better, be cleaned up and be ready because the show tonight for reopening. So then Toya in there and she coughed. And so then she's like, I'm just clearing my throat. And Clifford's like, Heffa, you got 25 seconds to get out of here. Like, what, how dare you be up in here? And so then she was like, you didn't almost kill my grandmother. And then she was like, how did you know I gave it to her? Like it wasn't me. And then he was like, yo, sneezing and bubble guts, but it was you. And she's like, well, how is she doing? She was like, she dead. I was like, he made that poor girl feel even worse. So she basically kicked Toya out the club. Okay, so then later on we see Toya crying, sitting down. I don't know where she was even at, crying and sitting down. We see Roulette come through. I don't know if it's where they all stay or they was at the club, but anyway, it was giving very much a Players Club. I mean, it was a Players Club scene. Like, they took a scene from the Players Club and redid it. Okay, so then Whisper's talking to her, and Toya's crying about how she ain't gonna better pay her rent. Roulette come up, be like, what's wrong with her? And she's like, oh, Clifford kicked her out the club for the night. She can't come back. And she's like, oh, no, I'm paying my rent. Roulette's like, oh, you screwed, girl. And so then Whisper's like, come on, Roulette, like, you know, help her out. So then Roulette gave her a big old wad of money, and Toya's like, I'll pay you back, girl. And she's like, no, that's your payment. So then Roulette Whisper's like, yeah, don't worry. Like, Roulette looked out for me. Like, she could do it for you. Toya's like, that's what I think it is. And it's like, yeah, girl, they finna have you in a little prostitution ring, whatever they got going on. Ronnie and Trick's finna get you, Toya. You better tell me you just came to dance, girl. Okay, we not doing these Players Club scenes no more, Roulette and Whisper. Y'all trying it. So anyway, you know Clifford don't do that at the club. So, anyway, back at the paint. Another girl coughed and Uncle Clifford yelled at her, was like, cough again. So then, Uncle Clifford's like, ooh, y'all got my blood pressure up. So then Nineveh was like, oh, you might want to look at this live. So the murder doing the live talking about going down at the paint. They performing him and Megan Thee Stallion, aka Tina Snow, and for the purposes of the paint, she's going by Tina Snow. So then she's like, oh my gosh, like, so then we see Megan Thee Stallion and Lil Murder come through. Okay, that scene was everything. Megan looked good. That white fur, that outfit she had on was gorgeous. Like, I want to wear that. It was everything. So then she came in there. She's like, oh, this is the paint. Oh my gosh. Like, Tina Snow was happy to be up in there. Okay. She was happy to be in that paint. So then she goes in there with Lil Murder, and Lil Murder, she goes back to the girls' dressing room, I guess, to meet the girls. Lil Murder and Clifford talking. Clifford's like, oh, how dare you, try to tell me how to run my club. And then Lil Murder gets close to him. He's like, how dare you lift a good horse in the mouth. And then she was like, you better quit playing. I'm going to, give you some head right here. And he's like, not before you get yours. So then Megan Thee Stallion came out. She's like, oh, is this the pimp that ran this establishment? And Uncle Cliff's like, I don't really consider myself a pimp, but I do record tracks and I do rap from time to time. And so then they just talking about like how Megan Thee Stallion knew about the pink, and she's like, yeah, you got some good stallions over here, and she giving girls money and all that, and talking about Lil Murder, Big Murder. So she kind of like looking like she liked Lil Murder. So then Uncle Clifford was getting a little jealous, you could tell. So then, sorry for the notifications, y'all. So anyway, then she took out whatever bottle of alcohol she was drinking and had him ride the boat. Y'all know what riding the boat is, right? When they pour something in your mouth, right? So anyway, so then Clifford snatched the bottle out the hand, and she's like, I'm glad you brought, pulled your boat over here. I'm gonna let y'all have y'all rehearsal. So then Nineveh tells Uncle Clifford that she got a customer waiting for her in the Paradise Room. So then she proceeds to go to the Paradise Room, and Lil Murder says, since you start getting customers. And so she was like, yeah, the Paradise Room just seem to always have a way of turning niggas out. So then she went in there. Corbin's in there. And Uncle Clifford's like, what are you doing in here? Like, you been kicked out for trying to steal all my stuff. Like, what you doing here? And so I forgot that Corbin liked to be at the Paradise Room and get his whoopings, right? So that's basically what he was in there for, y'all. He was telling Uncle Clifford that, like, no matter what happens, he's like, either way, what happens tomorrow, he's going to still be a winner. He's going to come out on top. And so he's like, I'm going to pay for my service. And he brought him a present. So he shows him the box, and he has like some kind of like special whip in there or something. He said he's gonna pay $250,000 for it. So I'm thinking like Corbin has like some kind of plan here. Is the reason why he matched the same amount that Autumn paid at the auction. Because he's like, how much did she pay at the auction? Clifford said $250,000, so that's how much he paid for that service. Anyway, Uncle Clifford agrees to give him the whooping. Next thing we know, we see him butt naked standing up at the pole. Clifford scratches his back and proceeds to whoop him. I said, ooh, that Corbin is a freak. So then we see Corbin go into like the some VIP area with Andre and the other people that was helping him with the campaign were. Autumn came. She's like, oh, sorry, we packed tonight. I was coming to make my rounds. They all took a shot, but Autumn didn't take a shot because, she might be pregnant, because remember when she threw up. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it to y'all here or not, but Autumn did throw up, and then Whisper came by, was like, oh, you expecting twins? And so, because, you know, she thinks she know the future and whatnot. So anyway, so, you know, she didn't take that shot because she might be pregnant. So anyway, she said, I want to be sober to remember the night that Andre became the mayor of Chucalissa. So then he went up there and made a speech, and he's calling the paint church. I was like, why are you calling it church? So anyway, and so he get the crowd all hyped up. And so then him and Autumn make out and they decide to leave. So they go back to his house, right? I'm just going to finish their story right now. So they hot and heavy. She's like, I got something to tell you. They hot and heavy making out at his house. Light flip on. The wife is sitting there. She's like, oh, this your campaign manager? And so I guess next week we're going to see what's going on with them, y'all. So anyway, back at the paint. Uncle Clifford introduces Tina Snow to the stage, and she singing her song, like dance like there's some niggas with some money around, have the song go. Good song. It was fun. We see Keyshawn and all the girls on the pole making money is being thrown everywhere, y'all. It was a good scene. I love the way it was shot. So then Lil Murder come out. He do his rap. I like Lil Murder's rap. And so the next thing we know, we did see Mercedes in the crowd. She's watching and enjoying the show. Like, she's staring at Keyshawn up at the pole doing the trick that she was supposed to do too. And so that guy, I can't even think of his name, that's in the gang that she used to be with, that, you know, she interacted with last week. He was standing there with her, and he was like, why you up there in your floss? And she was like, sometimes you just want to, you know, enjoy some art. And so then she looking right at Keyshawn. Keyshawn's looking at her. She kind of give her the nod, like, yeah, girl, you doing it. And like basically like, yeah, like approved, stamp of approval for her. And so Keyshawn seemed to receive that well. So then everybody's having a good time. You know, it's this whole debate where the gang, the blue, yellow, the CFC gang, they're not sure for sure that Lil Murder is the one that did it, that killed Pico. They're like, well, he didn't claim the body. And so they're like, nah, he the one that did it. So then, they're like, man, you ain't gonna do nothing. Like, I guess one of the guys told the other guys he ain't gonna do nothing. And then next thing you know, everybody start fighting. Because, you know, they always got a room with something. So they start fighting. I guess one of the guys did try to run up there and get Lil Murder. It turned into a whole thing. Diamond came through with his gun. He knocking them all down. Keyshawn sitting there, like, rescue her. They had to get Megan Thee Stallion out of there. It was a mess. So anyway, Diamond, you know, told Keyshawn, like, come on. So he saved her and got her to safety. Then they made out. And so, like, she was dying to kiss him forever. And so then, like, he enjoyed it, but then he's like, Keyshawn, like, he shouldn't have enjoyed it. Baby Bone saw it. So she just staring with her piercing eyes. I was like, oh, this gonna go all bad, y'all. It's about to go all bad. So then, he knocking people out with the gun. Like, Diamond was on it, okay? He was on. I didn't know who else was helping him, but he was on it. He was the only one I seen taking care of business. So then Lil Murder ran back there where Uncle Clifford was. They got Megan Thee Stallion safe on the bus. Diamond came in there, let Uncle Clifford know that, you know, Megan's safe on the bus. He got rid of people. He taking care of it. They gonna secure the place. Clifford was like, I told you I didn't want another repeat of murder night. He's talking a little murder. He's like, nah, what I'm supposed to do? Like, they trying to play me. They trying to run me. It's all that stupid gang talk, which I hate, but I know people really live that life. But I hate when people have that mentality that they got to get people back. It's just a vicious cycle of killing each other. But anyway, so then he was like, that's why, you know, we put his, you know, talking all this mess about how he, you know, what they did to Pico and all that. And so Clifford's like, you about to be like famous now, like, what are you doing? He's like, this is why I helped you cover up the other night. He's like, no. He's like, that night was different. Like, nah. And so anyway, Lil Murder like kicked something, knocked something over, stormed off. And then Clifford got mad. He kicked a box over and some drugs came out. So then he was like upset. He's like, Big L. So he go in there where Big L was, and Duffy. Speaking of Duffy, before I get to, there was also a scene where Duffy was talking to Roulette. Roulette almost choked him in the hallway, but he was trying to talk about, oh, who give you some pleasure? So he gave her a little finger bang in the hallway. Okay, that was just a little insignificant scene, though. So then he's talking. So Duffy left. He's like, Big L, I told you, Clifford's talking to Big L, saying I didn't want to be part of this plug life. Big L was like, oh, we just holding. And then Clifford was like, that's what they always say till your daughter come up missing because you didn't return something on time. Like, Clifford was like, I don't want to be part of this. And so then Big L was like, you could have been the queen, but instead, you acting like a B word and letting that other bitch run you, talking about Autumn and all this stuff. So, I don't know if Clifford called Big L a snake, and he's like, I'm the last snake you got in your garden. And so then basically Clifford like, you know what, Big L, you fired. And so then Big L was like, stuff I done for you, this and that. He's like, you know what, I quit. So Big L stormed off. Uncle Clifford's like, no, hold on, Big L, but he got already stormed off. And so then I think, you could tell everyone's emotions were really, really heightened and rising, and patience was being tried in this episode, right? So anyway, then Clifford gets a call from the Chuck Lisa hospital, I believe. And then he's like, hello, this is about my grandmother. I can't hear you. And so then I'm thinking Granny died when he got that phone call. But I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all predict? But I'm thinking the call was that Granny died. Hopefully that's not the call. Hopefully the call was like Granny can come home. But we're going to see what happens, right? But they left us hanging with that. So that's another cliffhanger we got there. So hopefully we get the news in the next episode. So anyway, then we see Little Murder sitting in the, I don't know if they were sitting in the paradise. Looked like they were sitting in the paradise room maybe. And so he was sitting there listening to some kind of music or something on his phone. And Mercedes came in, and so she's like, oh, what you listening to? He's like, just something to clear my mind. And so then they were both talking about how they never thought they'd be in that room again. They never thought they'd be at the Pang again. They never thought, certain things. And so then Mercedes, I remember when you was just a little wannabe perpetrating rapper. Now look at you now. And Murder was giving Mercedes her props, saying how much of a legend she was and how she could make any song into a hit song. Because y'all know strip clubs break the songs and the big popping rap songs, they break them at the strip club to see if they're going to be popping. So he was talking about how good her booty be bouncing and all this stuff. And Mercedes like, well, you need to stop. And she's like, isn't Keyshawn is the one you got on tour with you? Like, that's the one you really love. And he's like, yeah, Keyshawn's good, but you the legend here. Like, I'm trying to get good as legend like you. And so basically, Real Murder was giving Mercedes her flowers, right? So then he got a song he wanted her to listen to. She was like, boy, I hurt your feelings. And he's like, no, I want your honest opinion. So he had to listen to a song. I guess a song he might be doing. So anyway, back in the dressing room, Keyshawn getting her stuff to go. She ready to go. I hope she got her money she's supposed to make since they messed up the whole thing. Well, before that, let me get to the gang people. Because, Diamond, all them gang, both gangs, the Little Murder's gang that wear the red and green, and the yellow and blue gang. Look at them using them primary colors. So he got them all out, and he's like, y'all want to kill each other, y'all do it off the Pink's premises, basically. So then the girl that's pregnant, Pico's baby mama, she was like, I feel him just like I feel this baby. Like, Little Murder's the one that killed him. I know it. So she going crazy. They tell her, we're going to take care of it. I'm just like, Lord, if this ain't some hood gang mess. So then Big Mouth, she's just sitting there on her motorcycle looking at pictures of her and Diamond, and she plotting something, y'all. She plotting something. And then looked like she had that bullet or something in her hand from that Diamond had that from Octavius. But anyway, I don't know for sure about that. So then, like I said, back in the dressing room, we saw Keyshawn. She's getting her things together so she can run off and rescue them babies. She saw pictures, so then she decided to write on the mirror, like, you're my girl for life, or you're my friend for life. So whatever she said, you're my sister for life. So then Clifford came in there, and this is the scene I was waiting for, y'all. Like, I wanted this scene last week because I felt like Uncle Clifford and Keyshawn needed, like, a dialogue or understanding, forgiveness. And so I was glad they finally had their moment. Oh, it was such a good moment. I cried, y'all. I'm sorry to say I cried. So anyway, Clifford came in. She's like, I'm your sister for life. Like, that's all you're going to say? After all I done for you? Like, that's all you're going to say? You're not going to say goodbye before you leave? And so then he was like, came up to her. She was like, I didn't think you wanted any parts of me. He was like, yeah, you know what? I've learned that life is short and unpredictable and short. So then I'm like, dang, did Granny die? Because, he just got the news and then he came in there. So then he was like telling her, like, You're gonna be okay. He's like, I want you to take your pretty face. He's like, I want you to take yourself and fly away from here. He's like, I don't ever want to see your pretty face back here again. And basically, and the way he said it was looking at her and hold her face like basically like, I took care of you. I got you. I'm always gonna love you. Like, it was just everything to me. And so then, and when he said, I want everyone to see your pretty face around here again, like, I was like, oh my gosh. And so then she hugged him and then she left. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, is it? Anyway, then they was playing some DJ Never Scared and they said to be continued, like I said. And so we'll see what happens next week, y'all. We're gonna see who won the election, I guess. Because I don't think they really said it. And yeah, we're going to see what happens with Keyshawn, if she can escape. Hopefully Granny's still living, but I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all predictions are for the season finale of P-Valley. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to y'all soon about that Married to Medicine. Bye.